Hey, so did you hear the news? YouTube is taking away dislikes. So in this video, we're gonna go over what the heck does that mean and how can it be beneficial for you if you're looking to start or already have a real estate specific YouTube channel. Now this video, we actually went live in our free Facebook group doing kind of a live breakdown of what YouTube said, the video that they created around this whole thing, and I gave a bunch of thoughts on this, watched it live, and showed you how you can actually take advantage of this. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So for those of you that did not hear the news, this massive news when it comes to Jeff, by the way, if you're watching this for the replay, we'll cut this into the YouTube video. So if you guys are watching, obviously we're gonna post this up over on our YouTube channel as well. So if you're not already subscribed, definitely check that out. It's gonna be the Real Estate Marketing Guys. Search it up on YouTube, and we'll jump over there. So if you are watching on YouTube, definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe, like this video, and well, you can't dislike it anymore. Technically you can, but let's jump into it. So what is this brand new news? What is this thing that YouTube just announced? Well, I posted on my page yesterday, and YouTube isn't taking away the dislike button, but they are going to be hiding the public dislikes, if that makes sense. We'll show you what that looks like. It hasn't been updated just yet. You can still go and dislike videos. You'll still be able to dislike videos, but it's just going to take away the public dislike counter. And we're gonna watch this video and do a little review of I'm gonna actually share my screen. This guy right here, I don't know exactly who he is. I'm sure he'll tell us, but it's from the YouTube creators account, and as you can see, there's a ton of dislikes on this video, so a little bit ironic. But yeah, we'll kind of go through this. We're gonna do like a live. We're gonna watch this through live. I'm gonna comment on it as we go through, and then I'll give some thoughts as we go at the come to the end. And I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunity for real estate YouTubers to be able to take advantage, not necessarily take advantage of this specifically. We'll talk about that here at the end too. So it'll give you some incentive to stay to the end. So for those of you that are watching, let me know what you think about this whole thing. Do you think it's stupid? Do you think it's cool that they're getting rid of dislikes? I have my own thoughts, but let's go and watch through this. And then if you guys can let me know if you can hear the audio of this guy talking, that would be super helpful. So let's just watch through and see what's going on.
You may have seen a while back that YouTube announced it was experimenting with making dislike counts private to only the creator of the video. Now, if you're like me, you were surprised by that. I mean,
very much so.
Seeing the number of dislikes on a video helps us know as viewers if it's a good video or not, if it's a helpful tutorial or not, or if what a creator...
All right, so I want to stop there and say that this is 100% validating to the way that I consume content, especially if it's a tutorial video. Now, if it's a video about politics or a video about really anything outside of a tutorial of how to use Photoshop or how to do something, the dislikes when I go to that video are automatically going to, in my head at least, it's going to validate my thoughts, right? It's going to validate, okay, this video has 90% dislikes. I'm assuming that it's probably not the best video to learn about how to do X, Y, and Z, right? And I'm sure that a lot of people have the same consumption habits. Now, when there's videos, let's say they're more political, or they have someone's talking about a specific thing, or maybe it's a cancellation video, right? That is going around with the cancel culture. It's something where I want to have my own thoughts on those things, right? I want to look through the video and just have my own understanding about the content to be able to, but I'm not going to let somebody else's viewpoint of that change the way that I think about that specific situation, right? So I think it's for specific tutorial videos and things like that, I use that as a major factor if I'm going to continue watching the video, because if it has a bunch of dislikes, then obviously it hasn't helped people out being a tutorial video. So anyway, let's keep watching through, and we'll keep commenting on it.
Is saying in their video is generally agreed with or not. But unfortunately, research teams at YouTube have found there's this whole other use for disliking a video that I had never experienced as a creator, and you may not have either. Apparently, groups of viewers are targeting a video's dislike button to drive up the count, turning it into something like a game.
A little ironic, because I feel like that's almost that's almost the point of what's happening with this video, is people are like, well, I mean, if the dislike button is going away, then I guess we might as well dislike the heck out of this video. It's 29,000 dislikes and 7.9 thousand likes. So I can see that, and a really distinct thing that he said. Let me see if I can find it. But he said something like, it might not make a lot of like, or it may not mean a lot to someone like you or me, but for, you know, some of these videos that, and these large creators, it could, you know, people, like specific people are targeting them. So I think that's a really distinct thing to understand for, you know, for creators of, you know, real estate specific channels, is a lot of times, and this is what we always, you know, consult people with, is we're not necessarily looking to build a, you know, a massive following, and, you know, building a massive following could be a byproduct of it. But the idea is to build like a small, like connected, hyper local audience that is going to not only continue to watch our content, but also become potential buyers and sellers, right? So in this case, like a lot of times, and we've seen some instances where, you know, let's say a video does get a little bit political, right? And it does get, you know, there's specific viewpoints on it. Like, yeah, it's going to get some dislikes, but I think being that we are building these, again, hyper local, more targeted audiences, it's not really going to hurt us that much. It's not only not going to hurt us, but I think it's definitely going to help when it comes to even ranking some of this this real estate specific content. So let's continue through.
A game with a visible scoreboard, and it's usually just because they don't like the creator or what they stand for. That's a big problem when half of YouTube's mission is to give everyone a voice.
It's funny, I saw a lot of people talking about that specific point. It's like the point of YouTube is to give people a voice, but then you're also like silencing the voice, not to get political, but silencing the voice of a negative, you know, a negative viewpoint on a specific video. So again, not saying that it's like, I don't think it's like wrong one way or the other, like to an extent, but I thought it was just kind of funny that they're like, yeah, the viewpoints of YouTube, or the goal with YouTube is to give everyone a voice, but then also like take away your ability to dislike, or at least see the dislikes of a video. So I thought that was funny.
So earlier in 2021, YouTube experimented with making the public dislike count private to see if it would help reduce these coordinated dislike attacks across the platform. And after analysis, they did see a reduction. So
I can see like what they're saying is like, I'm trying to come up with an analogy, but yeah, like if you take away someone's ability to do something, of course they're not going to want to do it because their voice doesn't feel validated, right? It's like if you were to vote, or if let's say you were about to vote for like election, right? If you knew that like your voice wasn't going to be heard, like, are you going to, and maybe this is like, again, I don't want to throw politics into it, but you know, if someone like 100% knew that their specific idea, like their voice was not going to matter, would that keep people from disliking a video? And obviously they're going to see yes, but there's all like, if someone really doesn't like a video, they're going to find other ways to express their dislike for the video via comments or via other platforms, which I don't really see the benefit of, I guess. But I don't know. I think just taking away that, like the dislike, or again, the being able to see the dislike stuff. I mean, let's just continue through.
The update from YouTube is that the dislike button is staying, but the dislike counts will now be private. You can still dislike videos, and that action will be used to tune your own recommendations.
Okay, so this is, I pre-watched this video, but this is a really, really interesting thing that I just said here, because based on like my experience with, you know, over 15 years on YouTube and managing like hundreds of channels at this point, one of the things that, like, from talking to even people at YouTube, is one of the big things that they've talked about is like engagement being likes and dislikes don't necessarily skew the way that it shows up in the algorithms. And this is direct words and conversations that I've had with YouTube, is likes and dislikes don't do anything with the algorithm. But what he's saying here, and I don't know if he meant to say it in this way, that like dislikes skew the way that you see content. In a way, it could make sense, right? You might be saying, well, if I dislike a video, then you know, I don't like that person. But what if it's in a case where like you have been subscribed to someone for a really long time, and a specific video that they saw, or that you saw, was just against, just in general, what you know, the types of content that you like from them. What he's saying is it skews the way that your suggested videos, and if you were, again, not suggested specific videos based on you know, your dislike of that video, but you would probably still want to see some of that person, like some of that person's content, right? Because you're subscribed in the first place. So I think it lends to two things. It's like, well, I'm not going to dislike videos now because I don't want to like not see people's content that I'm subscribed to. And number two, if that's the case, then that's completely different from like anything I've ever had conversations with of people on YouTube, is that those metrics don't matter. So Again, I don't know if this is something that's always been a thing, or he's like saying it in a way where like now because of this feature, you know, now because of this, you're going to like not be seeing the videos that you've disliked. So it's just kind of interesting that he threw that in there, being that it's just always been different in terms of like perspectives there.
But you won't be able to see the dislike count. Only the creator can find it on the back end.
Only the creator can see how much someone dislikes your videos. I thought that's kind of backwards. It's like, no matter what, you're still gonna, like, if your video sucks, like, you're still gonna be able to see that the video sucks. What I think is good, right? I think it's good for a kind of like a feedback type thing. You know, in terms of, let's say someone, you know, they really just, the video wasn't good, right? And you get a bunch of dislikes. That could give you a little bit of insight of like, okay, this type of video maybe isn't what people want to see, and then it can like help you switch up your content
if they want. Now, a few common questions we saw from the initial experiment. First, without a public dislike count, how can viewers tell if a video is worth watching? Again, I kind of had this question too, but it turns out that while viewers might use the dislike count to give them a sense of a video's worth, when the teams looked at the data across millions of viewers and videos in the experiment, they didn't see a noticeable difference in viewership, regardless of whether they could see the dislike count or not. And
I don't know if I believe that. Like, I can see what they're saying, but this is, I mean, maybe this is just my own consumption habits, and I'd be curious to see what you guys think as well. But from my consumption habits, if I search for something, let's say how to change a tire on my car, right? I'm going to look at whatever YouTube suggests. I'm going to assume that those videos are going to be the most relevant to me, right? That's like my first gauge of like, okay, is this video worth watching? Then I take it that next step, and then I go to, or, you know, I click one of the videos, and then I immediately look at the likes and dislikes. And if it has way more dislikes than it does likes, then my immediate reaction is like, okay, other people that have looked at this video, because it's such a specific thing, it's not like a political thing, it's like how to change a tire. So if someone's searching how to change a tire and it has a bunch of dislikes, I'm going to assume that like the rest of the people that watch this video, it wasn't super helpful for them in terms of a tutorial. So I see what he's saying, but like it just sucks because now you have to like go through like a whole, let's say it's a 15-minute tutorial, and let's say it is outdated, right? You won't really know. I guess, you know, you could know by the comments, right, of what people are saying, but it's just like, that's the consumption habits. So I would search something on YouTube, I would click one of the videos, and I would just look directly at the likes and dislikes. If it was at least like 80, 70, 80, 90%, like I was going to watch it, but then if not, I was clicking off. So again, maybe that's my own consumption habits, but I just don't like it for specifically like tutorial type videos.
in other words, it didn't really matter if a video had a lot of dislikes or not, they still watched. Next common question,
but for how long? Like, of course there's like still going to watch, but then that doesn't solve the problem of, yeah, they watched the video, but was it helpful? Did they solve their problem? Like that's the main like caveat of it. Of course, if it comes up there and you don't see the dislikes, you're going to watch it because you want to like fix the problem that you have. So that argument's kind of backwards.
Creators can still see the dislike count on the back end. How's that any different? They can see it if they look for it inside Studio Analytics under the Engagement tab. But overall, it's much less likely to cause stress and embarrassment if the count isn't visible to the public.
Less likely to cause stress and embarrassment. That I like, that doesn't make sense to me, because like if let's say on the back end you're looking at your like, if it would make sense if you couldn't see dislikes at all, right? No one can see dislikes, but now it's like you're the only one that can like sit in the fact. Well, okay, I see what he's saying. He's saying that like on the YouTube video, if you looked at your YouTube video, you wouldn't see the dislikes, but you can still go into the back end and look at it if you searched for it. But again, like if you were someone that is looking for feedback, you're going to still see the dislikes on there, and you're still going to feel embarrassed, and you're still going to feel like the content wasn't good because you have dislikes on there. So that argument's also kind of backwards. But I see what he's saying though. It's like you have to, as a creator, you have to go and like search for it, as opposed to like you go to your video and you're getting slapped with it every single time. So I half agree with him there.
To the public. And one more common question, is this because YouTube Rewind got lots of dislikes? No. Although there are some
lies. I don't know if you guys know. Let me see if I can look it up. I think the last one was what, 2018? It'll probably pop up as the let's see. Yeah, 2 years ago. Wait, they took it off. Well, did they take it off immediately? Let's see. So yeah, this is the one that got a ton of, yeah, there we go. 19 million dislikes. Like populations of countries are in the that's hilarious, are in the dislike section. Anyway, so no one was really thinking it, but he said it, so that's probably the main reason.
Some teams internally who have learned the hard way what it feels like to get lots of dislikes. Now, this again is about protecting all creators and making sure they have a chance to succeed and feel safe in doing so. All right, so that's the update. I hope it doesn't cause too much frustration. Honestly, I think you're going to get used to it pretty quickly, and keep in mind other platforms don't even have a dislike button.
So I listened to him say that the first time because I think that's like the last point here. It's like other platforms don't have a dislike button, which is true, but it's also like that content's a lot more short form, right? A lot of like those, you're not really like searching for specific things on those videos. So I think where this like really makes a lot of sense, like what they're talking about here, and let me finish this before I go on this rant.
So consider that. Thank you, and I hope you're well.
Okay, so that was basically it. So the main point that I wanted to make was, I think it's really interesting that he said, like the way that he said that, and the way that I'm looking at this is this really doesn't have anything to do with like real estate specific content, at least right now, because like real estate specific content from what I've seen is very much so, because it's that hyper local content, we're not like becoming these massive influencers, right? And because this is more search based content and not like like trending type videos, like if you're talking about your specific city, like it's not going to go like worldwide viral, right? It's probably not going to go, on the first page of YouTube or on the front page of YouTube, because it's just something someone's searching for. So this video about like the dislike counts and like who it's going to affect, I really think it's only going to affect people that have like those large followings, right? But when it comes to this hyper local content that we're talking about, I think this can benefit us in two ways. Number one, in terms of like real estate specific content. Number one is I think that kind of like what back to, I don't even know this guy's name, but back to what this guy said is, it keeps the public humiliation or the public we'll say public humiliation for lack of a better word. That's something that a lot of people tend to like get too much in their heads in, especially as a new creator. Like as you continue to create content, you get people like to not like you and leave dislikes and leave negative comments. Like you get used to it because people are trolls and people like they'll sit behind their computer forever and not actually show their face. But I think it will help out in that aspect if someone's like, well, I don't want to upload a video and a bunch of people to dislike it. Well, guess what? No one can see those dislikes now. And if you really don't want to see it, you don't have to go into the back end of your analytics to see how many people disliked your video. The second part of it, which could be like a pro and a con, is let's say you do create a video and with some of these real estate specific videos, there are some people that will go to these videos and dislike them because it just goes against their thought of that specific city. So we've seen in like a lot of different, great example, one of the videos that we create for a lot of our real estate specific YouTube channels is like the 10 reasons I hate living in insert market, right? Inherently it sounds bad, but the framing of the video is like, hey, here's going to be 10 things that you need to know before you move here. We don't necessarily hate living here, obviously, because we've lived here for a long time and we're a real estate professional in that area. But these are some things that you're going to need to know, right? When you have that framing, we have a lot of those videos get a ton of dislikes because people are like, well, if you hate it so much, then why do you live here? Or they've lived there for 150 years and they're like, well, you said this thing, but that's actually not true. Or they talk about crime, or they talk about specific neighborhoods. Like people just have their own opinion on some of those things, and a lot of times it could skew the way that other people look at your videos, even if it's like a really, really highly informative video. So I think that's another way that it can help out is, again, those two ways. Number one is just, you won't feel as bad if you get, you can't really look at the dislikes and no one else can see the dislikes. And then a byproduct of that is your videos will be able to perform a lot better and have higher watch time because people don't necessarily know by the dislikes if it's a good or bad video. So for a consumer, it might not be the best experience. For a creator, however, this could be really big because, again, they're not having those preconceived, thoughts or, those preconceived, thoughts or ideas about your content before they even consume your content at all. And they can be the ones to figure out, or they can be the ones to like in their head figure out, okay, does this person do I like this person? Do I not? Should I continue to watch their content? And if they do, they subscribe. If they don't like you, then I guess they can technically leave a comment, but then you also, as the creator, have the ability to delete comments, but you can't delete dislikes. So I think there's going to be a lot of different ways around that. I don't want to go too much of a tangent because I really don't think it's going to make that much of a difference, especially for, the types of channels that we're creating. Again, if you're looking to build like, a channel of hundreds of thousands and millions of followers, then it might be a little bit of a different thought process when jumping into YouTube. But I think for what we're doing, I think this is, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell notification, get notified every single time we upload a brand new video here. And if you're watching on the Facebook group and you want, or if you have any questions or, want to learn a little bit more about what we do to help real estate agents, brokers, and teams absolutely explode on YouTube, let me know down in the comments, or again on YouTube, let me know in the comments as well. And we get back to you and help out as much as we can. So Aaron here from the Real Estate Marketing Guys, as well as the Revamped Real Estate team. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this whole thing down in the comments below. See you guys in the next one. Talk soon.